there, it's Debbie. I'm coming to you from my kitchen in Oakville rather than the kitchen at Recovery West where most of you are used to seeing me. This is different times for all of us. We're going through the pandemic and now I'm trying to think of foods that we can eat that are comfort foods, but also that we can use up some of the things in our pantry. So I came across this one great recipe that I think it's a Mexican lasagna, and I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it because it uses up a lot of things from the pantry. So some of the items we're going to be using today is a ground chicken or turkey. You can use ground beef or whatever you have at home. So we're going to use that. We're going to use some nice black beans full of fiber, and we're also going to use some lovely diced tomatoes. You can use any tomatoes you have in your pantry. I happen to have these ones with Italian spices, but please use whatever ones you have in your pantry. It also calls for some corn. It called for frozen corn, but I'm going to use my can of niblet or whole corn because I want to use that up in my pantry. It calls for some nice EVOO, which is our olive oil. Thanks to Rachel Ray naming that. And it also calls for some cumin, which I've already measured, some chili powder, which gives it great flavor, and some onions over here. Now, I happen to have an extra yellow pepper, and I really want to use this up. So this will go really nice in this too. So I'm going to dice this up. Okay, so I've drained my corn and I've drained my black beans, and I've rinsed the black beans under cold water, and the tomatoes I'm not going to drain at all. So right now we're going to give it a little olive oil, and I think it calls for a tablespoon of olive oil. And in there we're going to put in, I'm going to put in my peppers and my chopped onions. So this is a quarter of a chopped onion. And remember, I had that extra pepper, so I used up about a half of yellow pepper. You can use any pepper you have on hand. So I'm going to use that. And as well, I'm going to put in my ground turkey. But like I said, you can use whatever you want. And I'm just going to wash my hands really fast because anytime that you touch raw meat, it's really important that you wash your hands. So now I have this all browning, and we want this to be all cooked. Okay, so I'm back. So this has cooked about 5 minutes, and I've browned all the ground turkey and with the peppers and the onions, and I've also drained it. So now I put in my chili powder, which is a tablespoon of chili powder, as well as my teaspoon of cumin, whatever way you like to say it. And I've also drained my corn, so we're going to put that in. So as you can see, we are using up a lot of things out of the pantry. My black beans have been drained and rinsed. And my diced tomatoes, if you don't have diced tomatoes, you can also use a taco sauce, anything with flavor. So I'm going to add those in. So I'm just going to mix that up. And I'm going to let this cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 5 minutes. You can see it's bubbling and it's nice and hot. So now we're going to just salt and pepper. And I just gave it a little salt. You can see my cute little Frenchies. For those of you who know, I have little Penelope who looks just like that. So this is nice and hot. So now I'm going to take it off the heat. I've already put my oven to 425, so that's preheated. So now I'm going to build my lasagna. So I'm going to take my spray and I'm going to make sure to spray my pan, which is a 9 by 13. And in the process, I'm also going to put a little olive oil, about a tablespoon or so, in the bottom, because now this is where I'm going to layer my pan. So you can see I have my tortillas. So these are what I have left over. You can use any kind or flavor you have. It calls for spinach, which is the green ones, but I only have the whole wheat ones. And like I said, we're using things from the pantry. So we're gonna layer these with a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. And we don't have to be fancy about this. We can just layer these. There's 8 tortillas all together. You can cut this recipe in half. So instead of using a pound of ground chicken or turkey or beef, you can use half of that if you only want a small dish. So I've placed half of these in the bottom, and now I'm going to layer with my meat just like a lasagna. So we're going to layer this so that we have a few layers. So we're going to layer this on here, and like a lasagna, we need to make sure there's some. We're going to get our cheese. This is 1.5 cups of cheese. So we're going to put half of this. And if you like lots of cheese, by all means. I have a little extra there because I like a little more cheese too. It's always yummy. So now we have our cheese layer on there, and we're going to keep layering one more or twice. So we have our tortillas. So instead of noodles, we're using up our tortillas. Okay, so I'm just finishing up putting the cheese on the top. So I've done 3 layers of the fajitas, the shells cut, and now I've topped it off with the cheese. So there's about 2.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. You can use whatever cheese you want. So now it's going to go into my oven at 425 for 15 minutes, and then we'll take it out and see what it looks like. Beautiful casserole out of the oven. It's our Mexican lasagna. So it's a little bubbly. Remember, everything has already been cooked in here, so we just really had to heat it up. So the last finishing touches is what we want to do is usually we would wait maybe 10 minutes so this is a little cooler, but I really want you to see how lovely this is. So I'm going to cut a nice piece here, and you see how all the layers are so nice. And our last finishing touches is our what we call our they call for scallions, but these are green onions, which are the same. Well, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed making this recipe. I look forward to us being together again at Recovery West. Please remember to stay healthy, stay safe, and practice social distancing. Bye for now.